finding new and preferably disgusting ways to degrade zombie takeout was always held in high regard. Hello and welcome to episode 555 of Zombie Ticket,
Zombie Takeout.
the B-Movie and Cult Movie Show. I'm John.
Hello, I'm Scotto.
And without any further ado, on to this week's movie, which is from 1986, Stand By Me. This is our tribute to the late, great Rob Reiner. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do the telephone gag this week. We wanted to do a telephone movie, related movie, because it's 555, but
Oh, yeah.
we had to get this one in as soon as we could.
Because that's where every cool area code is.
And of course, that brings us to the impromptu plot summary, sponsored by 50s Nostalgia. Just like parachute pants, hair metal, and any hope for Corey Feldman's career, it's best left in the 80s.
And also brought to you by Castor Oil, the perfect aperitif to your binge eating. Right. We've got some kids. All of them going through some heavy shit, though.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, no, this is actually the first time I've ever seen this movie. So
Same
it
here.
was, uh,
I read a quote from Will Wheaton talking about the casting, and he said that the brilliance of the casting of this movie, Reiner's casting, and the reason it worked with four kids in the lead role is because they were all very much like their characters. He was nerdy and quiet. River Phoenix was basically the father figure of the group. He said Jerry O'Connell was and still is the funniest person he's ever met, and Corey Feldman was the angriest person he'd ever met and had a really messed up family life.
so yeah, they were just, yeah, there was not a lot of acting here, which just makes this wild. So yeah, I was kind of expecting a kids movie going in, but of course, with that, I was like, ooh, no, it's not.
No, no.
It is Stephen King after all.
Uh-huh.
And so they they're just going about their thing when suddenly the youngest of the group, um, although they claim they're all the same age, but
Uh-huh.
there's clearly an age difference
Yeah.
between the 4
Mm-hmm. I
The
didn't
the
look it up, but yeah, there had to be.
the youngest of the group he overhears his older brother talking about discovering a body in the middle of the woods.
And the name
And
of the King story, it's based on novella. It's based on his The Body.
right, and I just thought it was the Jesse Ventura story, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's just me. Uh, so what happens is they go on a quest to go see the body, and of course they have this fantasy about being heroes too, and they it's not just an easy thing. They've got to like walk deep into the woods to find it, and along the railroad tracks too, which of course is a sort of a danger that they have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad part is, of course, though, the older brother and the gang that he's running with decide to go discover or find the body themselves and have the same stupid thing about being heroes or whatever
Mm-hmm.
for discovering the body. Which the leader of the gang had to have been the biggest idiot in the world because, of course, the cops might have
Right.
tied them to something.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think they would be like, let's stay out of this. Um, and it leads to a confrontation in the end, but it
Mm-hmm.
isn't really about the friends we made along the
Right.
way. Hilarity ensues, in other
But,
words.
and I got to make the joke, Wesley got a gun. Um, we're
Yeah,
going to be calling him Wesley throughout the episode. You know
of
that.
course. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to call the episode Shut Up, Gordy.
I just got that.
Man, did I get hatred from some people when I on a Star Trek thing, doing the
Uh,
Shut Up Wesley joke, and all of them were like, he hates that so much. I was like, not really. Actually, I don't know the
yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah.
personally.
Uh,
I could see why, but I
yeah.
mean,
Um, Speaking of his character Gordy, the grown-up version was played by Richard Dreyfuss, who basically narrates the entire movie.
I was thinking the pathways that uh, Will Wheaton could have grown up into.
Mm.
You had the next generation that pretty much had him looking like Ted McGinley or something, like a buff Ted McGinley when he was older,
Right.
or this guy, saying
Mhm.
Rob Reiner believes he could grow to Richard
Mm.
Dreyfuss.
He really now just looks like the younger version of him with better hair
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
and a goatee. Um, but Dreyfus looked surprisingly young in this movie because I know I don't think of him as young anymore.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, this looked more like Close
Yeah,
Encounters,
but it's been too
Richard
long since I've
Dreyfuss.
seen anything he was young in. I just forget that he was young once. Also, I've now permanently associated the song "Rockin' Robin" with Stranger Things.
Well, yeah, and I think they chose it from this movie
Uh,
actually.
it came up in the movie, and I just immediately went to that scene in Stranger Things.
And a lot of this, I mean, Stranger Things took
Oh
so
yeah,
much from this.
this is one of the classic '80s movies that it borrows
Yeah.
heavily from. The gun that I'm blanking on his name, River Phoenix's character, brings along looked surprisingly modern for 59. I mean, I don't know jack about guns, but is it that very modern looking 45?
Well,
I didn't think I didn't think they had that design in 59.
I don't know. It is after Korea and
Yeah.
stuff, so
Yeah. I
I,
just I thought that came along in like the 70s or 80s. Again, I don't know anything about guns. This was a year before TNG, and he
yes.
looks so much younger than I remembered him looking in early TNG.
Well, first of all, the kids grow up. I mean, it is weird how fast it really does happen.
Mhm.
You're just like, wait, you were just this thing that we were carrying around, and now you've got like opinions, and now
Yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden you're like, you
Mhm.
know, but from his performance in this, it is no mystery how he got casted
Oh
in
yeah,
TNG. Like, holy shit, for a kid this age to act like this?
and that speaks to what you're always saying about directors, particularly when I point out good kid
Yeah,
actors. It's the director.
it is.
It's Reiner in this case managed to get a great performance out of him. The Star Trek directors just never could. I mean, this was before Frakes was doing a ton of directing. I feel like they should have let Teddy Feldman's character get hit by the train.
But then it would be like written and directed by George Lucas at the end,
Yeah,
right after that.
right. Um, I don't know. His character just irritated me. But watching this and thinking about the other Reiner movies, because I looked through a bunch of lists of like his greatest movies to pick one for the tribute. Why is he never listed in the pantheon? Among the great directors. Scorsese, Coppola. In the modern era, Nolan.
I don't,
He is on that level.
it's probably from commercial success.
Well, there's commercial success,
That's my guess.
yeah, and a lot of them are comedies, and
Yes,
comedy just never gets the respect it deserves.
comedy is looked down upon
Yeah,
so much.
even though fucking Princess Bride and Spinal Tap are absolute masterpieces of the genre.
Well, that was the one thing about Reiner. It was just like think about Spinal Tap,
Uh,
and we reviewed it so many years ago, which
yeah,
is why we're not doing it now,
right. Same with Princess
along
Bride.
with Princess Bride. But I mean, that gave we wouldn't have the Christopher Guest movies if it wasn't for Spinal Tap.
Right.
There's no way. I think he showed him how to do it. He took the blueprint
Yeah.
from there and ran with it.
But I think another part of it is his movies are very naturalistic.
Yes.
Even when they're outlandish, like Spinal Tap or Princess Bride, they're still very naturalistic. And the directors who get name checked as the greats have a perspective,
Yeah.
have a very unique look and design that is often a bit unrealistic, you know?
Yeah.
So I think he gets overlooked just because he's too naturalistic,
Right.
which is
A lot
wild.
about presentationalism.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
But his commercial run,
yeah.
like from the, you know, uh, what, like a good 10, 15
Yeah,
years
yeah.
where every movie he did
It was just a
was a
massive hit.
commercial
Yeah.
success. And I mean, you got to even mention When Harry Met
Oh yeah,
Sally.
that
It's
that's
like
that was the other one that's commonly in the top four. But I know neither of us were gonna like that one, so I
as
didn't
far
even
as
suggest it.
I mean, I saw it a long time ago, but remembering being so
Yeah.
surprised that I was like watching this rom-com and
It's a
was
great
thoroughly
film.
entertained.
It's a great film. It's just not. It's not in our wheelhouse at all.
It
So
was,
it wasn't even in the
and
conversation.
he did it with ease, you know?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was just, I mean, it was pretty damn impressive.
You mentioned Princess Bride. The narration in this one, for some reason, reminds me a bit of the Princess Bride.
And that's true. The whole storybook feel. I mean,
Yeah,
well, he's taking the novel adaptation.
right. I think he turns Gordy into Stephen King at the end because I think that what he wrote. I'm not sure about this because I haven't read the story, but I think I remember hearing that those final words that he wrote at the end of the movie are actually how the story of the body ends.
It is wild that we're doing this this during at the same time that Stranger Things came to an end.
Yeah,
That's kind of what makes the timing of doing this movie
true,
now
true.
something where because the two of the I mean the
Huh.
endings of Stranger Things where they turn him into Stephen King
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well in the end.
Wow, I gotta re. I mean, I was already planning to rewatch at some point, but I think that's gonna be a lot more sooner now that I've seen this movie because I'm just
Like
thinking of how
everything.
much they've borrowed from this movie. I'm like, wow.
But they even made Finn Wolfhard, they put the glasses
Yeah,
on
yeah,
him. They
yeah.
had the hair kind of brushed
Right,
in the
right.
same way. I mean, I remember Stephen King back in the 80s where he would, do, you know,
Mm,
ads for his own movies and shit. And, him at the typewriter.
right,
And
right.
then they recreated that at the end of Stranger
Yeah,
Things. So,
yeah.
and here Richard
Definitely a nod.
Dreyfuss doing the same thing.
Yeah. Um, the movie starts with a newspaper story about the death of River Phoenix's character,
Yeah,
which was chilling because
it is.
he's the only one of the main four who are no longer with us.
Oh, the whole thing with this, yeah. Like him fading out at the end, it was like, oh, ooh,
Yeah,
that's, I mean, you have no idea how brutal this is, dude.
yeah. I think Cusack was underused,
Yes.
borderline wasted, because he's only in like two or three flashbacks. John Cusack
Yes.
played Gordy's older brother who passed away, before the movie was set.
I'm trying to think if he was anybody when this was out. Like, is this before
This is
his big run?
'86. It had to be
Yeah.
after, because I know like Hot Dog, not Hot Dog the movie, the one where he was skiing. What's that one?
Oh,
The singing hamburger doing the Van Halen song, all of that.
which we reviewed and everything
Yeah,
too.
that movie. Um, Better Off Dead, was it? No, Better Off Dead was the
Better
other
off
big one.
dead.
Those were like 84, 85, I want to say.
Oh no,
Were they? Okay, they were later.
I don't know.
Um,
They feel like later 80s to me.
but yeah, maybe he wasn't big at this point. And even if he had done those movies, those were more cult films. Yeah.
Let's see. He was in 16 Candles before this.
Okay. Well, the others were earlier, and I don't remember him in 16 Candles. So, I
Better Off
barely
Dead
remember
was
seeing those 16 Candles.
Better Off Dead, and The Sure Thing
Uh-huh.
was the year before this.
Okay.
And One Crazy Summer was the same year.
That's, I think One Crazy Summer is the one with that,
Oh yeah, yeah, the Van
the
Halen.
Van Halen
Yeah,
hamburger. Yeah. Um,
yeah,
so, okay, he wasn't big yet. I mean, and he was kind of an icon for a lot of us Gen Xers at the time, but he
yeah.
was never big, you know? Um, but it is really impressive that a movie this good is 80% for kids, just walking and talking.
Right. I mean, you got to wonder how this got pitched. I
Mhm.
think because it's Reiner, though. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
I think that's the
He
only
already had
reason
a
why this
track
got
record at
in.
this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I have to call out one scene as being a bit unrealistic. The kids outrun a train.
I did wonder about that. Like, well, if it's coming, wouldn't it be?
I mean, they kind of had to, as much as I wanted to see one of them taken out. It wouldn't have been right in the middle of the movie. I was surprised that they all survived, but Yeah, that running a train is the one. I mean, I get it. I understand. I was able to suspend my disbelief for that moment, but yeah, it did catch my attention. I did have to minimize the movie and just listen during the pie eating story.
Oh, that that is, I'm surprised that that was actually written by King because it just seemed like such
Yeah.
a little kid story.
Hmm. Well, I think that's the intent. I mean, obviously,
Well, yeah, of
in the
course, yeah.
in the context of the movie, it's not a true story.
Well, right,
He's making it up as to be gross, but yeah,
with the
um,
whole like hat on a hat or barf on a barf,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, that is such a little kid thing to do,
right,
which I think that's what makes this movie so remarkable, that it is the kids just being kids.
yeah, yeah.
You feels like you really wouldn't be allowed to do this these
No,
days.
no.
I mean,
Well, I mean, they have to change some of the dialogue because some of the words are, not appropriate to use
right.
anymore. Um,
Although I'm kind of wondering what kind of language would they have really used in 59? I
yeah.
mean,
Well, that's fair. And also, even when we were this age, just before, a few years before this movie came out, that would have been perfectly normal. I'm just saying if it was made today, those few words would have had to get cut. Um,
sure.
and having them have a gun might have been an issue. Like
Although, I mean,
this is one of those, and I think I can say this about all of Reiner's films. They should never be remade.
yeah, I can't. Who the fuck would do this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Um, whatever changes would have to happen. Just no, they're perfect as they are. That's why I was wondering, like, why has he never really gotten his props? And it's, I think, the naturalism, by and large, and probably the commercial success.
yeah, I think it's the commercial success, honestly. I mean, they liked,
Yeah, The Outsiders,
Scorsese when he was an underdog and
right?
stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
and um, Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, and before, before he blew up. Um,
Coppola just being insane
yeah,
and
uh-huh.
just, I mean, taking us,
Yeah,
putting his house up for Apocalypse Now and then putting his house up again for
yeah.
whatever that fucking was that I
Mhm.
guess we need to do with
Yeah. Oh, when we can find it, which
oh, that's right.
Megalopolis we're
Roundhead was
talking
it?
about.
Oh, Megalopolis, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not streaming anywhere anymore. Back to the movie. I did like the line, they just keep wagon training.
Oh,
They were talking about wagon train, and he really likes the show, but it's kind of sad because they, at the end of every episode, they just keep wagon training. That line just cracked me up for some reason. Also, living in central Jersey, I don't see what the big deal was about seeing the deer. They traipse through my
huh.
backyard on a daily basis, except this time of year, but like when it's warmer, on a daily basis.
That's true.
I have been that close to a deer many, many times.
I mean, yeah, you got to think about it. If you're out in the woods, you probably see those fuckers all the time.
Like literally in my backyard. Any given day, spring or summer, I can walk out and see five of them and get that close.
We see them here in the city too.
Okay.
There's a shit ton of them. Like, in fact, up by where Tuesday lives,
Uh-huh.
they're just walking around the neighborhood.
Your
It's all
sister
like,
in law for context.
yes, they're just fucking walking around the neighborhood there, just kind
Wow.
of,
Well,
and
yeah.
it's kind of urban there.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Well,
okay.
not really. It's by a pretty big
Uh-huh.
park, which is where they're somehow crossing
Uh-huh.
a big street.
I've mentioned before that when I've seen Chicago on GeoGuessr, which is really the only place I've seen Chicago, it always strikes me as being remarkably suburban.
It is the city in the garden.
Uh-huh.
That's the motto or the
Uh-huh.
well, it's in Latin, which I'm not gonna do, but
And then I see shots like recently on a one YouTube channel of someone on the beach in Chicago on one of the lakes, and it's beach and then these giant buildings behind them because that's in the city
yes,
proper.
that is Lake Michigan
Uh,
right there on the with the beach and the buildings right
yeah,
behind it.
which is just weird. I
It
mean,
is.
you know, Seaside Heights near me. I mean, there's some. It's pretty well developed, but it's not proper city like that.
Right. I mean, that's Lakeshore Drive. It runs right along the lake,
Uh,
and between the lake and the buildings, it's quite a view. It's
yeah,
really
yeah, I'm
but
sure.
yeah.
Back to the
So
movie.
yeah, right. The point is,
Yeah,
what is the big deal about seeing a
yeah,
deer?
yeah.
You had to have seen them a
Mhm.
million times if you live near
Right.
any woods.
Another animal that many people in this area have come in contact with, unfortunately. But this scene was not fun to watch. The leeches.
That that made me laugh. I mean, that was kind of like, come on, guys.
I squirmed,
How
and
well,
and
of
not just
course.
that one. No, but all of them, not just the one. Um,
Now, I never had a contact with the leech,
mhm. Thankfully, neither have I.
but
My siblings
w
have, and they've told me the horror stories.
would it really have gotten them so many on them in such a short
Well,
amount
no,
of
I don't
time?
think so. No, one or two, probably.
Right. That's what I thought. I was like, wait, did they swim into like
Yeah.
a house of leeches? That was where my suspension of disbelief was kind of like a come on, guys.
They try to walk across this creek, and they, of course, walk 2 feet and then fall up over their heads, fall down over their heads. And they swim across, they get out, and they've got leeches all over them. And Gordy, Wheaton's character, has one in his pants, and that's all I'll say about that. Um, and yes, there was blood. That I mean, that's meant to be a bit disturbing, but just seeing them
Right.
pull the leeches off of each other, it was because I know what that feels like, or at least I've heard in great detail. Um, I was glad to see Vern finally go at Teddy.
Yeah.
Feldman's character Teddy constantly verbally abuses Vern. Jerry O'Donnell's character. At one point, Vern just gets tired of it and just jumps him.
And of course, that would have to be something that happens very often too.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking from
Uh,
experience.
there was 15 minutes left when they found the body, which surprised me.
Yeah. And that confrontation at the end.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yeah. There's the four of them, and Kiefer Sutherland's character shows up, who's the gang leader, and he threatens them. And then they say there's four of us, there's one of you, and then the rest of his boys show up, and there's like six of them, and they got weapons,
But
like a bat and a knife and that kind of shit. And
but
they're
Chekhov, of course.
yeah, is the gun
Chekhov
introduced
knocked.
early on in the film, um, and you don't really track who has it at that point.
That's true. It's
Because
been
the night before they were all taking watch while they slept, and they all had the gun while they were on watch. So you kind of lose track of it. I remembered it was a thing. I just didn't know, and two of the boys had walked away, had given
right.
up and fucked off at that point. Um, River Phoenix's character, blanking on his name, Chris, was staring down Sutherland's character, basically calling his bluff. He was coming at him with a knife, and suddenly there's a gunshot. And I knew it was still in play. I remembered it existed. I just wasn't sure where it was, and
I
it
thought
made me
Teddy
jump.
had it,
Yeah, it made me jump.
but Gordy had ran off after them, and you thought he was just running away with them, but no, it was to get the gun.
Well, I thought he was still sitting on the tree. The
Oh,
next morning, when they found the body, uh, Gordy, Wheaton's character, kind of freaks out
yeah,
and just basically feels horrible about going all this way to see a dead body, and there's this person who is no longer alive. And more, the morality of it finally hits him, and he's sitting there when the gang shows up.
well, I mean, he needed to see it
Mm.
because of his experience with death already.
Right? Yeah,
He
his
needed
brother passed away. Right?
he felt by seeing this, it would somehow put it into perspective that
Yeah.
it wouldn't just be his brother that died,
Yeah.
that it happened to somebody else too, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Uh, and so he's sitting on this log, freaking out, and so the confrontation is mostly with Chris versus the gang. and we kind of forget about him when the other two ran off, and then the gunshot goes off, and it kind of is meant to shock you. Um,
Yeah, you knew Chekhov was gonna come.
mhm. And then they all go back to town after the gang gives up, basically says we'll get you later, and fucks off because of the gun. They get back to town, and then there's the Wonder Years epilogue.
Well, I mean, you had to have, like Stranger Things, you gotta tell
Right,
us
right.
what
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
after the shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And also that's, a thing from Lord of the Rings too,
Mm. Good point.
what happens at the Shire,
Right,
after
right.
after
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is different. This is more sad
Oh
than
yeah.
either
Well,
of those, of
I
course.
mean, they didn't see the other two, Teddy and Vern. In high school, they kind of
Yeah.
grew apart, and then Chris, who didn't think he was going to get through high school, ended up going to college with Gordy, and became a lawyer. And you think it's going to be okay. It's a success story for him. But then he's in a fast food place, and two guys in front of him start arguing, and then a knife gets involved. He tries to break it up because that was just the way he was, even with the four of them in the movie. He just stepped in every fight, and he got stabbed in the neck and died immediately.
Well, right. And when you saw that article in the
Hmm.
beginning
You
and you
knew
hear,
once you knew that's who Chris Chambers, I think it was. Once you knew
yeah,
who that was talking about, it was okay. His character is going to die in the future.
but you think it's because he's on this dark path,
Right.
you know,
Uh huh.
because he'd been in trouble, he'd
Right.
stolen something,
Uh huh.
he was no good. So you think he'd just gotten into like an altercation
Right.
himself. But the thing was he had grown beyond this and he was trying to settle a dispute, to get in the middle to avoid violence.
Mhm. And no sequels and remakes, of course, because
No.
as we said, this movie should never be remade, and there's no room for a sequel.
It's amazing they haven't made a musical out of it, honestly.
Oh
I
God,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
because there are
Unfortunately,
so many
yeah, there
songs
are a
and
lot of
stuff.
songs used, but yeah, oh God, and everything's getting a goddamn musical these days.
Give it time. It'll be a musical, I'm
I
sure.
don't want to know about it.
Well, because think about it. You got like, you put four, kids
Uh-huh.
in there,
Yeah, yeah.
although the subject matter.
Uh-huh.
The subject matter would probably,
I'm surprised SNL, when they were younger, didn't do a thing with like the four from Stranger Things,
yeah,
like parodying it. Um, on a brand.
on the brains.
Well, as I said, it's perfect. As are pretty much all of Reiner's films. I got to go five.
Yeah, this is it was so much more depth than I thought. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
going to be such a more light movie. They're going to see a body and just the whole,
Mm-hmm.
titillation of it.
Right.
But I had no idea it was going to be like this therapy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going five.
And what have we learned?
The nice cool of a Winston cigarette. Nothing like a fine smoke after a meal.
Literally the same thing. And I can say that for a fact, even though I quit 12 years ago.
You smoked Winston's?
No, no, but I probably did at some point before I settled into Marlboros. I bounced around a
I
lot.
just
Um,
assumed everybody, well, you either did Marlboros or you did Cools or something.
no, it was Marlboro menthol lights. But I bounced around for a while before then. Um, And that's it for Stand By Me. Until next time, and we'll be doing a nice, easy, no prep catch up episode on the TV show.
Usually the TV show is really
Yeah,
hard for
the
me to do,
harder show
honestly.
because we got to get through X number of episodes of a show. Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be easy this time. We're going to talk about the last season of Stranger Things, the first season of The Mighty Nine, the first few episodes of Starfleet Academy, whatever else might come to mind, maybe the most recent episode of Digital Circus, whatever.
I was gonna say, are we almost done with Digital Circus?
There's two more, I believe. The next one's going to be in March.
Because the one I saw last almost felt like a last episode in itself, but I
Yeah.
guess there's more to go.
Um, Until then, of course, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
There
there you
you
are.
are.